Good evening. In tonight's episode, we're talking about habits I am continuing and taking forward in 2025. In 2023, when I did the competition, I started walking 2 to 3 times a week, and since 2023, I've continued with that habit come winter or summer. So for 2025, I would like to continue on with that habit. These past the past week or two, it has been a little bit challenging getting to that, and I'm not sure if it's just because it's the beginning of the year and we have to settle into our routine, or if it is because the kids have too many activities in the afternoon. So like I said, this past week or two, it's been a struggle, but that is still something that I would like to continue on for this year and for the rest of my life as well. Then the second habit that I would like to continue and take forward, it's also doing weight training. So I think the weight training I started with about was it last year that I started with that? And I can finally see how it is changing my body. Maybe no one else might see it, but I am able to see the changes. And I love how capable it makes me feel. With the weight training, there has been a little bit of a hiccup. And when you get to over 35 as a woman, the hormones, they start going a little bit wonky. And with all the research that I've done, all the podcasts and interviews I've listened to, there are so many things that happen to us women as we age. Getting to the fact that probably since last year, October, November, my left arm started to have like a funny feeling. It was almost like it felt like the muscles were like two bones moving on top of each other. And I just ignored the feeling the whole time, and it went away and then it came back, and I couldn't exactly place what was the reason for this feeling, if it was maybe the weight training. Any case, so I continued with that. And then I think in end of December, beginning of January, it started getting worse. And from, like I said, the research that I've done, they mentioned that there's something called a frozen shoulder, and that is linked to your hormones. So I did my research, I took notes, and I went to the doctor and I told her, okay, so these are all of my symptoms, and could it be that I've got an injury, or could it be a frozen shoulder? So luckily, this doctor was aware of frozen shoulder and the link that it has with your hormones. So she said that she'll send me to a physio, and then we can take it. She'll send me to a physio, and she also prescribed some HRTs. And so in January, I started going to the physio, and the first day the physio worked on my arm. Yes, she did the usual. This was my first time at a physio. So she did the usual massaging and pulling and pushing and whatever, warm treatment, cold treatment. She did dry needling, and at the end of the treatment she taped me up and she sent me home. So since January, I've been seeing her every week, and my movement and mobility is still not what it should be, and I still have pain, but I think it's getting better to what it has been these past couple of weeks. My point being, I'm still doing my weight training, even though I've got this little issue with my shoulder. I've pressed on and I continue. So for that, I am proud of myself for continuing with the weight training, even though there's been an issue. Wow, what a long story that turned out to be. The other thing that I'm also taking into and continuing in 2025 is my Pilates training. So I started with a Pilates training, I think that was also in 2023, and continued with that every day since 2023. And then last year when I decided to incorporate weight training, I think I started with 3 days weight training and 2 days Pilates, and I've been continuing with that weekly. I'm just excluding weekends. At the beginning, I used to include weekends as well, but at this moment in time, on a weekend, I totally take off from exercise except for the walking. We'll still go for walks on the weekend, but any other form in the weekend, that's out. So yes, the Pilates 2 times a week and the weight training 3 times a week. And I'll link the YouTube channels that I follow. I'll link down in the description box for you if you are interested in also maybe doing their workouts or joining me with that. Then I think the fourth thing that actually ties in with the number 2 thing and the long story that I told you about my shoulder. So I think the fourth thing, and that's I think something that I'm starting to do more this year, is I'm listening to my body. I am not just, us as women, we don't normally take our own feelings into consideration. We normally do what's best for our family, and we don't always do what's best for us, or we do what's best for our employer. And a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, when I woke up in the morning, I was just feeling off, and I continued with my morning routine, got up, exercised, got ready for work, logged in for work, and then I checked my diary for the day, and I had like a couple of meetings in the morning, and then I decided, no, Laura, you're not feeling well. Email your manager, ask him if you can just do your morning meetings and then take the day off. And in the past, I never would have done that. And so I emailed my manager, and he said it's okay, and I took the rest of the day off. Guys, it was so lovely just to be able to rest unexpectedly, not to have to sit in front of a laptop the whole day. So what I actually ended up doing is I took a rest. My husband needed to do some errands, so I went on errands with him, and then I remembered back to the physio that I didn't schedule my appointment for the week, and I asked her, can you see me this afternoon because I'm off for the day? And then I was able to squeeze the appointment in, where if I was at work I would not have been able to do that appointment. So yes, so all of the things that I would like to take into 2025 seems to be exercise related and health related, and taking care of myself better. I think that's the general consensus. Then you guys know the struggle with water, so that's still something that I must work on. The other thing that I would like to continue on in 2025, it is so backstory first. So 2-3 years back we went vegan, and as the time moved on, I've been reintroducing more meat products into our menu, into our weekly menu. But I think for 2025, and yes, I think I would like to continue doing more vegetarian. I put vegetarian in quotes because with vegetarian you can normally add cheese and dairy and those types of things, which we don't actually do in our house, except for my husband. He's still naughty. Anyway, so I would like to continue having 2 or 3 totally meatless meals a week. And when I talk about meatless meals, I'm talking about dinner. I'm not talking about breakfast or lunch, obviously. So yes, so that's also a habit that I would like to continue in 2025, having 2 or 3 vegetarian meals per week, or animal free, meat free, fish free per week. And I would also, this is now something that I think I should work on, I would like to start maybe increasing my protein intake, because from the research that I've done, they say that women of our age group, that we should increase our protein intake. That would help with a lot of other symptoms that we are experiencing, like for example the fat accumulating around the belly area. So I think that is something that I must focus on from this year onwards. So that's upping my protein intake. And I think I must find a way, and I think that's actually where the eating of increasing our meat intake, I think that's actually where it started. It was me thinking about protein, and I know that lentils and legumes and all of those things, they've got protein, but I just felt that I maybe needed more, and I started adding meat back into our menu. So I think that adding more protein into my meals, that is going to be a focus area for me. And what I've started doing now is I've started making salads with chickpeas, and I think I've showed you last year on one of my what I eat in a day videos. I've shared my recipe for this chickpea salad that I make. So I've started doing that again, especially now in summertime. It's easy to take or to eat salads. So yes, like I said, I've started doing that again. And I think for winter, I'll be replacing that with a soup. So I'll probably make a big batch of soup, and then I'll have that in the winter months to up my protein intake. That's all of the healthy habits that I want to continue in 2025, and the habits that I maybe want to add or change up a little bit for 2025. I hope you found this information useful and that there's some things that you would or could apply. Tell me, which of these things do you already do? Would you like me to add some more information or link the information for you, and so that you can listen and do your own research on hormones and women? Comment down below, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.